You travel to obviously every Monday night football game. You call the Monday night football games under the bright lights, but is there something just a little more special when it's Eagles, Cowboys?
So, Jeff, I looked at this matchup, and it jumps off the page when the schedule comes out. When was the last time Eagles, Cowboys on Monday night? And it's 2008, right? Like, of all the marquee matchups, it hasn't come our way. It just hasn't. So I know the passion of the Eagle fans, and I know in Philadelphia that the Eagles come first, of really the big four sports. And almost doesn't matter how well these teams are playing. It's always seemed to be an Eagles town. And so I know the support. I know the television ratings. I love the movie Invincible, too. And so that has me extra fired up about the Cowboys and the Eagles.
And you look at the Cowboys, you look at the Eagles, they weren't great last year, but how different from what you've seen so far as you're doing your homework for the game, how different are these two teams coming into play?
Well, there's no question Dallas could be 2-0. I mean, they played really well on that Thursday night in Tampa Bay and had a real shot. It's a 2-point loss. They had some questionable decisions there down the stretch, missed a couple kicks, missed an extra point. So I think the Cowboys are really good. I think Dak Prescott is probably underrated and is probably a top 5 quarterback now in the NFL. They were off to a fast offensive start last year before his ankle exploded on him. And, he's had a weird 4 years, man. Got the new contract, the injury, loses his brother, goes public with mental health, like big picture stuff. And we'll obviously dive into that on Monday. And the Eagles, it's amazing. I mean, 3 years ago, you're coming off a Super Bowl victory, and you're thinking Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz are going to be the next, Belichick Brady. Like, these guys are going to be together forever, going to go on this massive run. But that's how the league works now, right? And that's how quick it can change. And you almost start from scratch. I like a lot of things the Eagles have done. They've spent the draft capital on another wide receiver. I love Devontae Smith, saw a ton of them in college. And we'll see what Jalen Hurts has now, right? It's different to come in there when all the pressure's off, right? The season's already lost. And you come on and you have a good, 4-game stretch or whatever it is, right? But now, the keys to the car are his. And Philly probably deserved a better fate in that second game, and they could be 2-0 also. I thought they looked pretty good against San Francisco, except for a couple of issues there.
But you like to think, at least with the Eagles are concerned, that the pressure perhaps is off this team right now because you don't know what the expectations are and what team will show up on Monday night. Will the Eagles show up looking like the team from week 1 against Atlanta, or they show up like they looked last week against San Francisco?
No, I feel like it's an under-the-radar season. You could make a real good argument for the other 3 teams in the division to win the division, and I don't think anybody's expecting anything out of the Eagles. This is sort of a transitional year, and I think Howie Roseman's all about acquiring draft capital come next season. I know Carson Wentz wants to play a lot. He's got 2 bad ankles now. We'll see what percentage of snaps he'll take. I know that's a big deal back in Philadelphia. So, yes, it's a nice way. And the Eagles, right, and you know better than I do, but the Eagles can never be under the radar in that town, right? But I feel like expectations are low, maybe even in Philadelphia. You hope, you never want to lose to your arch rivals. You want to show well. Maybe you score an upset here and there, and Monday night would be one of those kind of games. But, yes, this is a nice season, I think, for the Eagles to get their young guys going, get Rager going a little bit more. He's got some potential there. And Jalen Hurts, an opportunity because – they'll pull the trigger on him pretty quick if things don't work out. I don't think he was their guy. I don't think they've invested in the future in him financially with a contract, and so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But this is a nice spot for the Eagles, and they could sneak up on the Cowboys a little bit here on Monday night too.
So, what matchup are you specifically looking for? Is it the running game between, Ezekiel Elliott and Miles Sanders? The defenses. What is the matchup you think is going to separate each team in this game?
So, in talking to Brian Griese and Louis Riddick, we'll be focused on the Cowboys running game. I don't think the country realizes what's going on here with, like, Tony Pollard, for example, right? Ezekiel Elliott sells all the jerseys, but Tony Pollard's really good. They're different kind of running backs, and this could start to be sort of the turn in Dallas in terms of their running game. So I think that's something to watch for. And I'll be focused on the young receivers of the Eagles. Rager and Smith for sure, and how they fare against Dallas. The Cowboys have been turning people over. I think they have the most turnovers defensively in the league. That's something that Jalen
Eagles
Hurts
have
can watch
none.
for. Right, right. And Hurts has been really good ball security. I know the fumbles were an issue a season ago, but not so far. So, listen, I'm hoping for a high-scoring game, and I'm hoping for a fun game that we get into the fourth quarter where the outcome is still in doubt, and that's what I'll watch for. And the tight ends are interesting for the Eagles, too. We'll have to see how that plays out.
The Eagles defense, what can they expect from Dak Prescott? It's going to be his first home game since that ankle injury. Where is kind of he at? Is he 100%? How has he looked so far to you?
I think he's great. And listen, I do remember before he got hurt last year, he was averaging like 450 yards a game. All right. In the first 4 or 5 weeks, he was number one in the NFL. They are well set up at wide receiver. They're not going to have Gallup, but they've got Cooper, CeeDee Lamb in the slot. And that's the real problem for the Eagles defense, I think, is the passing game. We touched on the running back matchup, but the passing game is really good for the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb in space. I mean, every time he can get his hand on the ball, even in the return game, that'll be something else to watch for as well. But again, Dak Prescott to me has proven he's a top 5 guy. This is the first home game, as you point out, of the season. And again, if he was worried about how the ankle, remember he had the shoulder thing too in the offseason. We all saw that in Hard Knocks, but he's been airing it out in the first 2 games. I think he looks great. I think he's poised for a big night.
Who do you have winning? Will you say? Will you even go there?
No, I can't do that, man. I told you, my prediction is for a really close game in the fourth quarter. So that's my prediction. I hope it's close. It's the division rivalry game. And again, we don't get these on Monday night for whatever reason. We haven't gotten them in recent memory. And I hope that's because the league is looking favorably on ESPN and what we've done on Monday Night Football in recent years. And hope we get more great matchups like this one.
Yeah, if you said Cowboys, I wouldn't put this on anyway, right?
I don't know. Could work against me the other way. We'll see, what kind of guy you are, Jeff.